It took me 1 year, 3 months, and 30 days just to close my first ever client. In today's video, I'm breaking down exactly the 3 main reasons as to why, so you yourself can go about avoiding wasting 487 days of your life struggling to get clients. You see, my major problem was that I was listening to all the gurus, right? And all these gurus were preaching to do cold outreach, despite themselves getting all of their clients coming inbound, either organically or through running ads. So me being me, I didn't know much. I focused solely on doing cold outreach, which in itself has 3 major problems. You see, number 1 is that it puts you in a weak position, no matter how strong your offer is, no matter how great you are at what you do, because you have 0 authority and you have 0 credibility built, no matter what you do. When you reach out to somebody, when you think about it, it feels as if you're pestering them and fighting for their attention. So it puts you in a position where it almost makes you feel below your clients. Even if you know full well that you're smarter than them, you can genuinely help them, and you're genuinely just better at them at whatever service it is that you're providing to them and for them. This then leads to a very cold sales call and a decreased close rate. Right now, my close rate is genuinely closer to maybe 30, 40, maybe even 50%. But as I've mentioned before in one of my previous videos, quite a few years back, probably back in 2021, when I first got into the e-commerce niche, because I was doing cold outreach, my close rate was absolutely just terrible. It was probably close to maybe 5 to even 10%. That basically means I would need to generate at least 10 calls just for me to be able to close one. And I'm going to break down exactly why with this particular graph right here. So here's an example of a sales funnel. We have at the top of the funnel, we have the middle of the funnel, and we have the bottom of the funnel. At the top of the funnel, we have what you call awareness. In the middle, we have consideration and desire. And at the bottom, we have action and sales. See, the big problem most people don't understand when you solely focus on cold outreach, like cold emails, or worse yet, by doing cold calls, we're directly trying to take prospects from the top of the funnel all the way down to the bottom of the funnel by skipping over the middle part of the funnel, which funnily enough just so happens to be the most important part of the entire funnel, because it's that part of the funnel that creates the desire and funnels that desire down into a sale. So here's what happens when you start skipping the middle of the funnel. You see, skipping the middle of the funnel only leads to sales calls that feel super cold, they're super awkward, they don't feel very comfortable whatsoever, because not only do you have to sell your services to clients, which is already hard enough, you then also on top of that have to sell yourself, who you are as a person, what you can do, what your experience is, and just overall sell them on the idea of working with you as a person. Which is why even when cold outreach does work, which it rarely does, clients will hesitate to get on calls with you, which are your sales calls. And when they do, they immediately have their guard up because they just don't trust you, they don't like you, you've not built up any credibility, and they've not been through your middle of funnel. So they simply just don't know who you are and if they should trust you. This is exactly why, by the way, most agency owners, most coaches have to resort to offering like 6 different guarantees where they're offering a full money back guarantee plus money on top. It's simply because when they're on sales calls, the calls feel so awkward, so horrible, so uncomfortable, that to make the prospect feel comfortable with the idea of working with them, they offer some sort of guarantee or double guarantee or even triple guarantee, because there's just no trust between you and the prospect built up whatsoever. So you've pretty much just got to do something to try and get them on board. So if you break it down to the brass tacks of things, most people don't actually offer a guarantee out of confidence. They offer a guarantee out of desperation. When you have a solid middle of funnel system, you indoctrinate your prospects with content that shifts their beliefs. It educates them on who you are, what you do, what your services are, and if you can actually help them. It also educates them on your offer as well. And if you can do this, people are going to start booking in calls with you, knowing exactly who you are. So there's no real need to try and sell yourself to your prospects. So this also eliminates those really awkward questions that you get on sales calls, such as like, Do you have any previous case studies? Can you show us any references? Do you have any references? Do you have any testimonials? Do you have any case studies? Once you've built a proper middle of funnel system, it eliminates all of that because people jumping on a call with you already know who you are, who you've served, what results they can expect from you, what your offer's all about, and pretty much everything there is they need to know about you. So overall, once you have a solid middle of funnel strategy, you get prospects booking in calls with you that are already warm, they're already educated on your offer, and they're already educated on who you are as a person. So your sales calls go from this awkward, uncomfortable like dance going back and forth with your clients where you're trying to use all these salesy, guru-y sales techniques like you're in the friggin' movie Wolf of Wall Street. They go from that to having a simple, nice conversation with somebody who sees you as an authority figure and they're literally ready to buy right there and then because they know your story, they know your services, and they know who you are, and they're really ready to work with you. So your sales calls go from sales calls, which are really awkward, I personally don't even like sales, to calls where you're just enrolling people. Your sales calls go from sales calls to enrollment calls. This is exactly how I got my first ever SMMA client and my first coaching clients, pretty much ever. My middle of funnel warmed them up. They booked in a call with me, saw me as an authority figure, listened to me, and then bought from me. Not only did they do all of that, but then they thanked me for working with me. It only took me, by the way, 33 days of implementing this middle of funnel strategy to land my first ever SMMA client. I built something what I like to call nowadays the hybrid personal brand. This is something new, never mentioned before on my actual channel. And I've been able to master this hybrid personal brand system so well that I've literally had coaching clients message me on Instagram, DM me for the link, just straight up the invoice link for a $3,500 program. And then they've paid right on the spot immediately without even having a sales call with me. And this was the first time they had ever reached out to me. Not only that, but on top of that, like I said a second ago, they literally thanked me for the opportunity, even though they were the ones that paid me. You see, that's the difference. So let's jump into major problem number 2 with cold outreach and why I will never use cold outreach again. You see, cold outreach is a form of what you call one-to-one marketing, which is the hardest to scale and it's the slowest to implement. For example, let's say it takes you 2,000 cold emails just to land one client. For some real numbers, just to throw it on the screen for you guys, it took me 1,600 emails just to land my first ever e-commerce client back in 2021. So the numbers today are probably going to be closer to maybe 2,000, maybe even 3,000 emails to close one client. But let's be friendly and say that it takes you 2,000 emails to land one client. That basically means you're going to have to go out there and find 2,000 individual businesses to reach out to, put them all into an Excel spreadsheet, ensure that they're the right fit and they're qualified. And before you reach out to them, you're going to have to make sure that you're reaching out to the right person, which is the decision maker. Then on top of all of that, you've got to make sure that you write a very specific and tailored message to each individual person 2,000 times over, or else they're just going to immediately tell and smell from a mile away that you're using either one of those janky AI softwares or you're using some sort of automation tool where you're just copying and pasting bland scripts. Believe me, business owners can smell that from a mile away. Now, I'm not too sure about you guys, but that right there is a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of messing around. And if you're a little bit smarter than the average person, what you're going to try and do is probably outsource this to a team of quote unquote growth specialists. It gets very expensive very quickly, unless you're trying to hire some sort of kid in a sweatshop in like a third world country and you're paying them like $1 an hour, which is obviously extremely unethical, immoral, and damn right just child abuse at that point. I do not recommend doing that at all. And not to mention that is highly illegal. So don't do that. So realistically, it's going to cost you anywhere around maybe $5 to $7 an hour for around 10 personalized emails every single hour. So more realistically, the cost that you're going to be incurring is around maybe $5 to $7 an hour for 10 personalized emails. And if your goal is to get to $10,000 per month, and each one of your clients is worth $1,500 to you, that means you're going to need to close 7 clients. So let's say you're trying to get there in 3 months. Well, in order to do that, you're going to need to close 7 clients at 2,000 emails each. 2,000 emails times 7 is 14,000 outreach. And if you divide that by 3, 14,000 divided by 3 equals 4,666 outreach you need to do per month, which is 155 outreach per day. And I haven't even factored in, by the way, your close rate, which is going to be terrible, maybe around 5 to 10% due to all your meetings coming in from cold outreach. Nor have I actually even decided to mention the fact that your no-show rate, the actual people that don't even show up for your calls, despite them saying that they do want to show up for your call, will be through the roof. Like the no-show rate will be through the roof, especially with cold outreach. But let's give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you're doing 155 outreach per day. Well, that basically means you're going to need to hire maybe 2 or even 3 virtual assistants to hire that, or growth specialists, whatever you want to call them. Either way, it's still going to cost you around $108 a day and $3,255 a month if it's $7 an hour and they're able to crank out 10 outreach per hour. And I'll give you some real statistics. When I was doing this myself, I was educated on my own system. I created the hybrid system, and it was still taking me around an hour and 10 minutes just to do 10 personalized lines. So let's say your VAs are even better than what I am and you train them up. It's still going to take them around 1 hour to do 10 outreach. And if it's $7 an hour, they're still going to need to work around 15.5 hours a day, which comes out to roughly $108 per day. It's quite expensive. And even if you pay your virtual assistants just $5 an hour, working 15 hours a day, multiple split up by like 3 different VAs, you're still going to need to do the 155 outreach per day. So you're going to need to take the $5, times it by 15, and you've got $75 a day is going to cost you, and around $2,250 a month just for your virtual assistants alone. Then on top of that, you're going to have software expenses to pay for, such as like Lemlist, Instantly.ai, Neverbounce, so you actually clean your list of emails. You're going to need lead scrapers, and then you're going to need at least 6 different domains that you need to pay for each month, especially if you don't want your email domains blacklisted. So your total costs come out to around 2.6K at the cheapest, unless you want to start operating extremely unethically and paying people like $1 an hour, which I never recommend. You shouldn't even be an entrepreneur if you're thinking that way, because that's exploitation. That means your cost per client is going to be $877 just for a client that's paying you 1.5K per month. And then on top of that, you have to spend another $500 on a media buyer to outsource the work. So if you do the maths, in month 1, you would have spent $877 just to acquire a 1.5K per month client. Then you further had to pay another $500 to your media buyer to outsource the work. So that's already $1,377 in expenses. So your net profit overall from that one client from month 1 is going to be a whopping $123. And to make matters even worse, if you offer some sort of money back guarantee and you don't get your client results from month 1, you're completely screwed, because you still have to pay your team, your virtual assistants, you still have to pay for the softwares, and then you have to pay for the actual refund, which is $1,500 on top of all of that. So hopefully you are good at what you do and you're able to keep clients on for at least 6 to 12 months to make up for the lost profit. And the third and final major problem with cold outreach is that it has what I like to call a short half-life. It doesn't build you an audience over time, and it doesn't compound over time. For example, this YouTube channel right here, this channel makes me hundreds of thousands of dollars each year, and it continues to grow to this day. It continues to nurture clients over the years, and each year it gets better, bigger, and better. Meaning I can sit here and record 3 YouTube videos a week, and all I do is put in the work one time, and this will continuously grow for me without me and compound over time. And when I'm staying relatively consistent with the content here on my YouTube channel, I know for a fact that when I'm dropping 3 videos a week and I'm staying consistent, I can easily get around 3,500 views a day, every single day across all of my videos here on the channel, which if you think about it is the equivalent of me doing around 3,500 outreach per day and 25,000 outreach a month with just 12 videos. 12 input in and I get 25,000 output back out. Whereas one-to-one marketing channels like cold outreach, you put one input in, you get one input back out. It's not scalable. And not to mention that number, the 25,000 outreach per month, is only going to get bigger and better. And everybody that watches my channel actually gets warmer and warmer and warmer over time as the channel gets on. You see, cold outreach just doesn't compound like this. So you're probably wondering what on earth is the solution? Because I can tell you right now for free that spamming content on social media isn't the answer either. Just last night, I am not even joking, I had a guy tell me that he spent one entire year trying to get inbound clients by spamming content and dropping free valuable content on social media, trying to get inbound leads, which is obviously extremely slow, tedious, and he's probably moved the needle forward not even a centimeter. Even me, it took me 5 whole years just to get 25,000 subscribers on my channel. So posting on social media, hoping and praying for leads genuinely is, in my opinion, better than doing cold outreach, but it's still slow as hell. It's risky, unpredictable, because you're still in the mercy of the algorithm gods, I like to call them. You see, the best solution I found genuinely in 2023 and going forwards is to build what I like to call a hybrid personal brand, where you use both organic content for your middle of funnel strategy, and then you run ads to the top of your funnel and get people to watch the middle of funnel content, which then warms them up over time. By doing so, you're able to control the flow of leads that you get in your sphere of influence, and then they get indoctrinated by your content over time, and then they get pushed down to the bottom of your funnel and become customers and clients. And this strategy right here, this is exactly how Iman Gaji was able to blow up his YouTube channel, over 3 million subscribers in record time. You see, what Iman's been able to do and what he's mastered and what he's a genius at is that he will put on these events, and these events he runs ads to get you to check out these free events on his YouTube channel. Then what you end up doing is, before the event even starts, you end up subscribing to his channel, or you watch the event and end up becoming a subscriber. You might not buy his programs right there and then, but because you are now subscribed to his channel, you're going to watch more and more and more of his content, which is what you call middle of funnel. You can go back all the way on his channel, start watching his content all the way from like 5 years ago up until present time. What's going to end up happening if you do that? You get warmed up over time. You then eventually go on to buy one of his programs, which is fully automated from the way how he got you into his circle of influence, the way he took you down the middle of funnel, and the way you bought the program. And then on top of that, the way how you go and get results with his program. The whole entire thing is completely automated. It's the most genius business model to ever grace the face of the earth. And if you can figure this out, not only will it go on to change your life, but it will change thousands of other people's lives as well. I'm talking about your clients, of course. And this right here is exactly what I help people now build. And I call it the hybrid personal brand. So if you're an online coach or you're an agency owner and you're stuck between maybe 3 to 15K per month right now with your business, and you're trying to scale to 30K, 40K, 50K plus per month, what I want you to do is click the link below in the description. I might even leave it as the pinned comment. What I want you to do is book in a call with me and speak with me directly to see if we can actually genuinely scale your hybrid personal brand and get you inbound clients without having to sacrifice your soul doing cold outreach or spamming content on social media trying to go viral, or worse yet, posting in dead Facebook groups. And trust me, I've scoured the internet now for at least 5, almost 6 years, trying to find a system that reliably allows you to build a system that generates you inbound clients at will with a few clicks of a button. And this right here is it. This is the exact system that's allowed me to scale my business to the high of 96K in a single month. And it's the exact system I'm going to be using to scale my business past 150K per month plus within just a year from today. That said, I hope you liked today's video. Make sure you click below, book in a call with me directly, and we'll see if we can help you scale your business.